us wrap up what we heard from the winners. Let's speak to Tanisha Laverne Grant, who is also live in Los Angeles right now. Tanisha, it is great to have you on the show. You are on the grounds, and I want us to begin with an overview, in your opinion, of the entire night.
You know, I thought tonight's show was pretty fair and balanced. It's bittersweet. You know, we're in the middle of a global health crisis, which has, impacted, so many of us in a heartbreaking way. I know I lost my father January 21st of COVID, and it has been absolutely devastating. So it's really, it's bittersweet. It was great to be a part of the Oscars this year and to see how we are all trying to fight to maintain our normalcy. At the top of the show, we had Regina King, who came out, and spoke about, having to trade in her high heels for boots if the Derek Chauvin trial went the opposite direction. So we're grateful that there was a guilty verdict in that, because I really think that would have definitely shaped the tone of tonight's Oscars. Amazing night tonight. Like you mentioned, Daniel Kaluuya, who took home the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. Definitely a great moment for Daniel. He's having an amazing career, and I just can't wait to see what is next coming down the pipeline for him. We had some historic moments, more historic moments with Black actors and makeup artists. We had Mia Neal and Jennifer Wilson, who won the Academy Award for Best Makeup for Ma Rainey. Definitely a big moment there. Big moment there. Is still a lot of firsts, and like Mia said in her speech, we're hoping for a day where we don't have to have first, where it'll be normal for African Americans to be included in the conversations of diversity and inclusion in Hollywood. But nonetheless, still very excited for Mia and her team for the amazing work that they did in Black Bottom. What I thought was really interesting is that, I'm sorry?
No. I'm with you. I'm just agreeing with what you said about Mia there. I listened to her speech, and that really stood out for me. I think for me, that was one of the most powerful messages from the entire night, where she said she's looking forward to a day where, being a transgender female and winning an Oscar is not like, oh, wow, or being a female Black woman and, winning an Oscar for doing makeup for a movie as big as Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is not a thing of surprise. It's, oh yeah, let's normalize that, So I was just agreeing with you on that.
Right. Another moment, I think that was jarring, but kind of split up the middle for moviegoers and people who have the opportunity to see these films, because that's another issue. There are no movie theaters. We're in the middle of a global health crisis. So how many people are having the opportunity to see these films? But, leading up to tonight's Academy Awards, there was this great big conversation around Chadwick Boseman taking home Best Actor tonight for his role in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. And that went to none other than Sir Anthony Hopkins, who did a phenomenal job in The Father. I saw The Father. I definitely saw Ma Rainey. And it's a performance that kind of left me split up the middle. But again, congratulations to Anthony Hopkins, who was not able to be in attendance tonight to accept his award. But nonetheless, we celebrate great work at the Academies. And Anthony Hopkins, I hate to say, but I have to say, I shouldn't even say hate to say, he deserved the Academy Award. He deserved the Academy Award tonight. And, wow. I don't think people were expecting that. I think everybody was thinking that Chadwick Posthumous Best Actor award tonight, and that didn't happen. But the show goes on. It was a great Academy Awards again. It was definitely fair and balanced. It was great to see.
Before we move on that, I just want us to, piggyback on Chadwick Boseman a little, because that is such a major conversation right now. The event is over, but what people can't seem to let go of is Chadwick Boseman not winning Best Actor. All through the award season, we went through the Golden Globes, we went through the SAG Awards, we went through the BAFTAs, and Chadwick Boseman, everyone was looking forward to this just being his, perhaps the final moment, looking forward to what his wife would probably come out to say. And just as you said, we're in the middle of a global pandemic. There's so much emotions out there right now. So is it possible that, this emotions are valid in some way. Maybe the Oscars, or the Academy rather, could have validated these emotions in one way, in some way.
What do you, I'm not quite sure what you're saying, validated these emotions. I think we're just in a difficult time period, and our feelings don't have to be validated. I mean, we are in a global health crisis. This is a pandemic. I know in the United States, we've lost over, 500,000 lives, So I'm not quite sure what you mean by validating, these emotions. The emotions don't have to be validated. Pain, we are in a space of visceral pain. We are in a space of, political uprising with Black Lives Matter. We've lost lives because of the global health crisis. I lost my father because of COVID-19. So I really don't think the Academy had to validate or is validating the emotions. I think it was just a choice. If you watched the film, if you saw Ma Rainey's Black Bottom and you saw The Father, and I saw both of those films, and they were very hard choices for me to decide, oh my God, do I want to go with Chadwick? Someone who is my age mate, my contemporary, somebody whose work that I admire and respect and look up to, somebody who is a fellow HBCU alum like myself. Chadwick graduated from Howard University. I graduated from Cheyney. Or do I look at the work at Anthony Hopkins, that resonates with me also, because I did just lose my father. So it's hard to say, playing to the emotions. I think emotions are just a part of what we are deciding is good film and who is worthy of a best actor or who is not worthy of a best actor. But I think Chadwick Boseman, he has an amazing legacy of work that will definitely, it will sustain the test of time. So I don't think anybody should be worried or kind of be in their feelings that Chadwick Boseman did not win the Oscar, because Chadwick Boseman has already won. I participated in an article. I was quoted in the New York Post last week, and I said, Chadwick Boseman amplifies the beauty of humanity, and so he's already won. I don't think he needs an Oscar in the body of his work to validate how beautiful his existence has been and his contributions to the culture overall.
It's important that you mentioned that, because that's exactly where that question came out from. The point that there's an opera of emotions, there's just an outpouring of emotions where people just, again, the difference between, or rather the distinction between an emotional win and the fact that this person just deserves this award. For Chadwick winning, it would have just been a thing of emotions. Oh yeah, it's Chadwick, and lots of people love Chadwick. There's a new documentary on Netflix out on Chadwick Boseman right now. So people would have just wanted him to win. So it's a good thing that you're saying that. Let us talk about some of the speeches. You mentioned, the Derek Chauvin verdict earlier on when you were speaking about the awards, and that was pointed out immensely in a lot of people's speeches. For instance, Tyler Perry, when he received his humanitarian award, he pointed out something that I have a strong feeling is going to generate a lot of conversation, because it could be looked at in one or different ways. When he said specifically, he's tired of hating, he mentioned Black people, white people, and then he mentioned the police. At a time where we just saw the Derek Chauvin verdict, we're still speaking of Michaela Bryant, police brutality, gun control. This is a major conversation. So how do you think people are going to react to what he said?
I think people are going to react in a way where they are going to look at themselves. I think what Tyler Perry did tonight was hold the mirror up, challenging us to look at ourselves and how we navigate and how we move in the world. Do we operate in a space of implicit bias? Do we operate on a place of prejudice? Do we operate on a place of discriminatory behavior? I think what Tyler Perry did tonight, we need more conversations around this. We need to have bigger, healthier, more global conversations about race. I think what happened with George Floyd was monumental in that. May he rest in peace. But I think his death, he served as a lightning rod for bigger discussions about race and what is happening.
I love that. I thought it was a really touching moment, quite honestly, from the story of him being, basically just lending a shoe to the homeless female. And, she said, finally, my feet are off the ground. Tyler Perry does that. Whenever he's giving a speech, you definitely might shed a tear. But let's talk about Daniel Kaluuya. Word on the street is Daniel Kaluuya's Best Supporting Actor was the most deserving win of the night. Would you agree?
I do. I'm so proud of him. You know, Daniel Kaluuya is going to go down in history. Is definitely one of the greatest actors of his generation. You know, there's just a whole band of brothers like Daniel who are in the industry. You know, I think of Daniel and I think of the Keith Stanfield and I think of Damson Idris who stars in a late John Daniel Singleton Snowfall. You know, these are a group of amazing young Black men who are definitely, you know, shifting and moving a culture, and they're taking on such amazing roles. And Daniel Kaluuya definitely deserved the Academy Award tonight. His portrayal of Minister Fred Hampton of the Black Panther was exceptional. He held me to the screen at every single take. I could not take my eyes off him. He perfected that role in such a way that it was meant for him. It was meant for Daniel to play this role from beginning to end. He is a leading man, and I just cannot wait to see what is going to come down the pipeline for him. So again, congratulations to Daniel. I know his mother is probably looking him sideways about the comment he made tonight about happy that his parents had sex. So funny. But, you know, it's a great way to lighten up the moment. You know, people have sex and he's just happy that his parents made him and he's here to contribute to the culture. So I thought it was a funny comment.
When I saw that moment, it was incredible, especially because Daniel Kaluuya is, you know, African, you know, and British as well. So his mom had this look of, what is he talking about? How could he say that? But another great moment was Glenn Close doing the, you know, the dance. I thought it was needed.
My goodness. I said, well, you look at her. Look at her. You know, I'm like, was this like scripted? Like this had to have been scripted. You don't think it was scripted? A little bit, maybe?
Well, it's possible. Glenn Close is a phenomenal woman, but Tanisha, I could keep this up, but we have to wrap this up. Thank you so much for, you know, filling us in on your thoughts from the Oscars. Very different, and I love it. It's great to have you on the show, Tanisha Leven Grant, who is live in Los Angeles. Now, we're going to head out for another quick break, but there's plenty more still ahead. So do stay with us.